Okay, everybody, sorry to have kept you waiting. It's now time to move on to the Hack Award 2023 Global Pitch Contest. So this year, under the theme of Future Society, 9 startups from Japan and around the world will take this stage, focusing on the fields of clean tech, fintech, and sports tech. So Japanese companies or startup support organizations that are active in open innovation and collaboration are especially encouraged to watch this session. So based on the pitches and the Q&As, the judges here today will evaluate and award prizes, including the coveted Gold Award. So first, I'd like to start off by introducing our judges. Okay, going to switch over? Okay, great. So from Rainmaking Asia Pacific, head of Rainmaking Expand, Mr. Brian Lim. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause if you would. Okay, and from Plug and Play Japan, head of Ventures Principal, Mr. Jin-Kyun Ma. Another round of applause if you would. Okay, so gentlemen, looking forward to your comments and your judging today. If you are ready to go, then we're going to go ahead and get started. Everything okay? Okay, great. All right, so we're going to move on to the first pitch. Bramble Energy Limited from the UK. They provide a cost-effective, flexible form factor and scalable solution to combat the major challenges facing the manufacturing of hydrogen fuel cell solutions and other electrochemical devices. So now our presenter is Mr. Vidal Barath. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. So, my name is Vidal Barath, and I'm the Chief Commercial Officer and co-founder of Bramble Energy. Today in our world, we face many challenges. Whether it's war, whether it's famine, there are a number of challenges. One of the most paramount challenges we really struggle with, however, is how we get energy security to people and how we get over the climate crisis. So the climate and energy crisis is really a twofold problem. One is energy security for everyone. It shouldn't be a choice to have energy poverty. And the second one is about making sure that we can stop burning fossil fuels and providing ourselves with the energy we need without having to create further pollution and damage our environment even more than we already have. The fact is, we actually have a solution for both of these problems, and it really stems from the hydrogen economy. The hydrogen economy allows us to take renewables, such as wind and solar, essentially bottle it up, and then use it where we need to. It's something that we've been struggling with for a long time, of how we actually empower renewables. So I know the next speaker will be talking a bit more about hydrogen, so I'll leave him to do that. But in the meantime, how we actually can take that hydrogen that's being produced using wind and solar and then use it for general activities, whether it's to move your car or your truck or your bus, is through the use of a hydrogen fuel cell. The fuel cell takes the hydrogen and converts it back into usable electricity. However, the reason we haven't done this properly, or it's not really widespread enough, and the reasons that you don't see much about fuel cells and hydrogen as much as you should perhaps, is because the fuel cell, the actual device that converts the hydrogen back into electricity, is just far too expensive. They're really complicated, and they just don't really scale well. They don't work for every application, and they require very expensive factories that are very high precision manufacturing in order to produce them. We at Bramble thought that was a bit of a problem, so we decided we were going to reinvent the fuel cell, eventually sort of like reinventing the wheel. And to do that, what we did was we decided to take an existing manufacturing route, the printed circuit board industry, and utilize that to make these really complex devices. That's something that already exists. That means we don't ever have to build a factory. And what we've been able to achieve through that is really low-cost fuel cells, the lowest cost fuel cell, in fact. We're able to scale really rapidly because, again, I don't need to build a factory. So it's as simple as onboarding another fuel cell company, onboarding another PCB company. But equally, I can do things at their timescales rather than the traditional fuel cell timescales. So instead of taking 6 or 12 or 18 months for a new design, we can turn that design around in 10 days. And what's even more important is that I can do that for multiple customers in multiple industries, whether that's rail or cars or trucks or buses. I'm producing solutions for everyone through our digital manufacturing route. And of course, it can be done anywhere in the world because PCB factories are everywhere. That means we've got a global distribution, we've got global manufacturing, which means we can work with customers all over the world. I'll skip through some of these slides. So it all sounds fantastic, but what have we actually done? So we've actually got a vehicle on the road in the UK, and this year we'll be showing 4 new products. One is a new vehicle on the road, one is and 2 marine application demonstrators, and another real-life demonstrator for a diesel generator replacement. And these are all manufactured at our facility, at a PCB facility in the UK, but that could technically be done anywhere in the world. But that's not where we stop. So we do electrochemical devices in general, actually, and we leverage the same printed circuit board industry manufacturing in order to do things such as hydrogen sensors, electrolyzers, and redox flow batteries, or using our patent-protected manufacturing route through the PCB industry. So who are we? As I say, we're out of the UK. We're spin out from Imperial College and University College London. In 2020, there was only 3 of us. Now there's 80. We've got actual real-life demonstrators in the field, and we're building relationships with customers to do technology development for programs for multiple industries and sectors. And that is me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hear me? Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to our Q&A session, if you are ready.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anybody have any questions from our 2 judges? Ryan, you first.
Thanks, Vidal, for the high-energy presentation, and congrats on the growth from 3 to 80. I'm sure that wasn't easy. I have 2 questions on my end. The first question is, could you share a bit more on how Japan fits into your global expansion plans, and if there are specific partners that you are looking to secure here today? And in terms of my second question, you mentioned PCB factories being basically available worldwide. And in countries like Malaysia, countries like China, PCB manufacturing is way cheaper than Japan, I assume. So again, why Japan?
Okay. The reason we're really targeting Japan is because your hydrogen economy is far superior than anybody else's in the world. You really understand that hydrogen is required to take heavy things far distances. So when you've got a truck or a bus, electrification and zero emission for those activities is really tricky, especially if you're plugging it into the wall to charge it up. When you use hydrogen, it makes a lot of sense. And Japan's hydrogen network is the furthest and most superior. The customers that we're looking to secure, and the reason we're interested in Japan, is around technology. So it's not about I build something and you use it. It's about us developing a technology for your product range. So whether you're doing, and I use mobility as a catch-all phrase for anything from trains or buses or trucks or airport services. So it kind of encompasses technology development for anything within the mobility space. And the second question was about manufacturing of PCBs. So we can manufacture PCB fuel cells at any PCB factory in the world. Now, our partners is where it gets really interesting, because I'm an 80-person organization, and I might get to 100, but in reality, working with the likes of automotive OEMs or tier 1 manufacturers, auto tier 1 manufacturers that is always going to be a struggle for such a key component in a powertrain. However, if I was able to utilize your existing supply chain, because many auto OEMs and tier 1s have PCB factories within their supply chain to make ECUs. If I can utilize that existing supply chain, then when we develop new technology, we can get really innovative, awesome tech, but you can manufacture it using your existing supply chain, which then de-risks our innovation together. And that's why it doesn't really matter if you can get it cheaper in Malaysia or the Philippines, but in fact, where your trust lays is where it's most important.
All right, thank you very much. Unfortunately, for our Q&A, we are also limited on Q&A time. So if it's okay, we're going to go ahead and go on to our next presentation. Sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
ありがとうございました. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our second pitch. This is Hylium Industries Incorporated from Korea. As a startup specializing in liquid hydrogen production and its application, they develop mobility hydrogen solutions such as liquid hydrogen drones with a flight endurance of over 5 hours, and MHRS, which is mobile hydrogen refueling stations. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Dong Hee Hong. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. 皆様、こんにちは. Thanks for inviting me to present this good events. And Hylium has been founded in the year 2014, and we have been dedicated for liquid hydrogen more than 9 years. Today, I'm going to share why hydrogen is important in terms of the mobility, and to meet up these requirements, liquid hydrogen technology is very critical. And in other words, I want to add why Kansai area is the best place to meet up our requirements and to get partners with our key partners for this. So let me ask you a first question. So if you can be familiar with the drone systems, how long can your drone fly? Normally, the answer is 30 minutes or less than that. That is the physical limitations provided by lithium-ion battery systems. So yes, it's acceptable, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But how about you, Hylium X? So my answer is, normally you can fly more than 5 hours, and it's up to 10 plus hours we can fly. You know why? As Dr. Vidal mentioned, that hydrogen is the best fuel material in the universe with the best mass energy densities. So normally the lithium-ion battery is a very bad weight, mass energy density, and volumetric energy densities. But normally the carbon-based energy material is diesel, gasoline, and kerosene. They are very good in terms of the volumetric energy density as well as mass energy density. But the problem is they are emitting many carbon gases. This is very harmful for entire Earth's environments. So the next alternative is hydrogen. So in terms of the mass energy density, hydrogen is perfect. You know, more than 10 times energy storage than lithium batteries and other energy material systems. But the problem is, from a volumetric standpoint, it's almost nothing. So even the Earth's gravity cannot hold any particles or any elements of hydrogen. That's why in the Earth system, hydrogen is stored as a compound material. Water is a good example. So increasing the energy density, the human beings compressed hydrogen gas. So that's why Mirai adopted more than 700 bar storage tank system to run Mirai vehicles more than 5 kilometers by one charge. So at H2, liquid hydrogen is the best energy density, and that's what that means. It is a perfect energy system for the flying vehicles, aviation vehicles. So with this better energy density, the flying vehicles flying longer than ever and longer distance than ever. This is a Hylium X demo systems, and you can prove it year 2016, flying more than 10 hours by liquid hydrogen systems. So the proposal for this event, we Hylium want to propose the power pack system instead of the drone systems itself. So there are many key players around in Kansai area, like Iwatani is a big hydrogen liquefaction plant supplier, and Kobe Steel. They are very famous in terms of the very lightweight titanium manufacturings, and we can combine those materials and we can supply those power pack systems to many drone fabrications and drone expertise and drone manufacturers in Kansai areas. So throughout this combination, we can supply very good usage model during Osaka Expo, more than 10-hour flight drone systems by combination with Kansai area's expertise and Hylium's combination. And we are very open to build up any business partnership in Kansai areas. We just provide another very mobility, platform systems like a mobile hydrogen refueling stations and hydrogen liquid detection sensors. So we want to deploy the same applications in Kansai areas with the key players of Kansai manufacturers. Thank you. 本当にありがとうございます。
All right, thank you very much. So we're going to move on to our Q&A. Jin-Kwan, you want to go first?
Sure. Thank you for your presentation. I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
One is, do you mind sharing more details about your technical superiority comparing with your competitors? The first one. The second one is that you mentioned several players in Kansai region. May I know your exit strategy in the future and how Japan market could help you? Thank you.
So the first one is that our technology leadership is dedicated for mobility. So legacy hydrogen liquefaction players in the world, like Air Products in the United States, Linde from Germany, Aeolic from France. But Hyliium's liquefaction technology is very lightweight and very compact. But that is why these applications is installed in the mobility platforms. The second question is the Kansai areas, thanks to Iwatani. So Japan is one of the luck countries to have commercially liquid hydrogen's availability. So we have very good partners like Kobe Steel. They are very famous for very lightweight titanium manufacturing. So Hyliium has very expertise in the lightweight tank designs, and we can combine it as one set of fuel cell power packs. That is a good chance for us to get win-win business opportunities.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think we have time enough for one more question if you do. Brian, do you have a question?
I think in your previous pitch as well, you mentioned fundraising, and you have successfully fundraised also. Any big growth plans for Japan besides Iwatani and Kobe Steel that you have been mentioning as well?
Yes. Recently, we completed the Series A fundraise more than $20 million US. Like some kind of IT application like cloud business models, we just recently launched a hydrogen as a service business model. So that can be applicable for some developed countries, including Japan. And Japan has a fully mature liquid hydrogen ecosystem. So we can launch many advanced service models in Japan. Then we can replicate those success cases into other Asia regions.
All right, thank you very much. And that's about it for our Q&A. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。
Okay, now we'll be moving on to our next pitch. So from France, Neolit develops a solution to upcycle non-inert and non-hazardous waste into mineral aggregates for use in the construction industry. For instance, building concrete or roads, etc. Neolit works with non-recyclable mixed waste, which means that the large volumes of waste can be treated and reused in an ecological way. So 1 ton of aggregates allows to capture 333 kilograms of CO2, meaning that the aggregates act as a carbon sink. This is really interesting stuff. But of course, to tell you more, we're going to ask Mr. David Touzelet to come to the stage. Please give him a round of applause.
Hello, I'm David, head of marketing in the French startup Neolit, created 3 years ago and now employing 150 people. Our innovation turns your waste into stones and reduces the CO2 emissions in Japan by 7%. Today in Japan, 60 million tons of waste are incinerated or landfilled. It's clear now for everyone that the landfilling is not a viable solution because the main reasons are strong greenhouse gases or methane emissions. So incineration is the best method to reduce the landfill site, but method highly emits CO2. This method will not allow Japan to meet government's target of net zero emissions in 2050 and are against some SDGs. Our innovations turn your waste into stones. Thanks to the patented accelerated fossilization process, we can transform all non-recyclable waste into a mineral aggregates that can be used in the construction sector. This aggregate captures carbon. For example, if you transform all non-recyclable waste in Japan, we could reduce the CO2 emissions in Japan by 7%. Just a comparison of CO2 emissions between landfilling and incinerations, it's around 400 kilo CO2 per ton equivalent. And the fossilizations process, it's minus 420 kilo CO2 per ton equivalent. The value chains in industrial waste, the industrial waste are collected and transferred to the sorting site with just 30% in recycling channel, and for all the rest, 70% in incineration site or landfill site. Our solutions comes directly in the sorting site. We put at disposal a small treatment waste unit and transform in aggregates. How? It's a fossilization process. We have 3 steps. The first step, to reduce the industrial waste into powder. We mix them with our binder. Its formula is kept secret. And to give a stone pulp, we compress this stone pulp and give these mineral aggregates that can be used in the construction sector. The name is anthracite. Its carbon footprint, minus 380 kilo CO2 per ton. It's possible to use in the road or concrete. The benefits of the solution, it's a reduction of CO2 footprint and increasing valorization rates. It's a localization of the waste management because it's directly in the sorting site and less expensive than current solutions. After this theoretical part, some figures. 2023 is the year we are moving between startup model to industrial model because we have already 7 orders in France. The big challenge is 2 million tons of waste treated in 2025. And the next step is to penetrate international market and Japan. Why Japan? Japan is an important market for Neolith with 60 million tons of non-recyclable waste. And landfilling or incineration has become increasingly restrictive and costly. And we have a real orientations of your politics to reduce the CO2 emissions in Japan with the target of net zero emissions in 2050. And with our solutions, Neolith participate of 4 SDGs. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so are you ready for our Q&A?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone with any questions? Who wants to go first? Okay, Brian.
Right. One question. You mentioned 7 fossilizers this year and then 60 by 2025, right? What are some of the constraints that's stopping you to scale up even quicker this year?
The business model in France is based on the rental of the fossilizer with payment per ton treated. So Neolith supports all the cost of this construction of the machines. So we need to have a fundraising. So the last year it's 20 million euros, and for this year the program it's 30 million euros. So the first step it's just in France with 7 fossilizers, 7 machines. But the next step it's Europe and Japan.
All right.
Okay, thank you for presentation. One question from my side. During your previous presentation, you mentioned that currently you do not have any strong competitor. May I know whether is there any, technical barrier for your competitors?
Yes.
It is a technical barrier for your competitors?
We don't have competitors. We don't.
May I know why is that?
Yeah, we don't have a competitor because for around the world, the waste, it's not very interesting to use these waste to build the future. And just nailed it to understand maybe this opportunity to change the world with the waste. The first step is industrial waste, but for 2025, it's to transform all the waste, all the household waste, for example. So maybe for the future, a new company to develop a new options, but it just nailed it in the world to have this solution.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Ladies
much.
and gentlemen, another round of applause.
Thank you.
Another very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to our next and fourth pitch, actually. Civix Material Sciences Limited from Israel develops and provides high-performance biopolymers with the strength and elasticity of natural spider silk using proprietary technology, providing solutions for industrial fields such as cosmetics, textiles, sports, medical devices, 3D cell culture, and cultured meat. So, ladies and gentlemen, to the stage, let's welcome Ms. Shlomzion Shen. Here we go.
Imagine the world of materials. What would those materials need? What type of benefits would you like them to have? You would probably want them to be strong and elastic. Yet in the midst of a sustainability crisis, we also need them to be eco-friendly, non-toxic, and degradable. However, materials present painful trade-offs between properties. If they are strong, they're not elastic. If they are degradable, they might not be as strong. Well, the answer to material problems exists in nature. After all, nature has 4 billion years of R&D. It can do complex chemistry and engineering, and we can replicate it in new and better ways using synthetic biology and biotechnology. Look at this spider web. A fly, which weighs about 10 times the weight of this web, flies towards the web stops the fly, but doesn't tear or break. This is the power of nature. A material with no compromises, no painful trade-offs between properties. It is strong, elastic, biodegradable, and composed entirely of proteins. My name is Shlomzion Shen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Civix Material Sciences, a synthetic biology company with a vision to become part of the solution to the many impacts of a changing planet. Backed by 10 years of research conducted at Hebrew University by Dr. Itach in Israel, Civix team of biologists, chemists, and material engineers are producing man-made spider silk. We call it SVX. SVX has the outstanding properties of spider silk in nature. It is biocompatible, it is strong, elastic, chemically resilient, thermally stable, and degradable, with a fine nanostructure design that no machine can artificially spin. SVX is applied to various industries that aim at high performance and sustainable products. For example, the textile industry that has a limited number of variety of fabrics, especially those that are sustainable and eco-friendly. The cosmetic industry that is looking to provide consumers with vegan skin and hair care formulations using green chemistry. And the cultivated meat industry that is in search for biocompatible and animal-free scaffolds that provide the stability and the strength for cells to grow and to be printed in a tissue or steak format. I'm excited to show you here today one of Civix products. This is a yarn made of SVX spider silk proteins. SVX will replace those toxic materials that accumulate on landfills for hundreds of years before decomposing. SVX-based textiles will degrade to proteins and can even be used at the end of their life cycle as fertilizers. We are collaborating with Sumitomo Chemicals to explore the benefits of SVX in green science-based materials. ASICS, the sports company, is an investor and a partner of Civix, and we collaborate to develop sustainable next-generation products such as sportswear and sports shoes. We are also collaborating with Yonex and Nagase to develop sustainable high-performance sports equipment. CEVIX partners with market leaders in various industries, and our business model is to co-develop next-generation high-performance and sustainable products. Our business model and goal is to become the Intel Inside of many of our daily used products. CEVIX is pioneering new sustainable biomaterials to transform industries. Rather than processing oil, animals, and plants to produce consumers' materials, we grow materials directly with biology. This is our manufacturing plant in Israel. It is cost-efficient and scalable. We use bacteria that are grown to produce our silk. We can produce tons of material in Israel, and we partner with large-scale fermentation facilities abroad to produce thousands of tons of material upon demand. Our goal here is to partner with companies in the Nagasa and Kansai region to join us in this exciting journey to break the boundaries of innovation across industries and develop the next generation high-performance and sustainable products. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so if you're ready, we're going to move on to our Q. Oh, where are you going? We're going to move on to our Q&A. You still got a little bit of a chance to pitch. So, any questions from you, gentlemen? Who wants to go first? Jing Kran?
Okay, I have one question. As a start from the deep tech industry, I think financing is, will never be easy. So what kind of investors are you looking for and we would like to cooperate with in the future? Thank you. Especially for, the local Japanese investors.
Yes. So far, the company has been founded mainly by private investors from all over the world. We have investors from Israel, from the US, from Australia, from Europe, a few family VCs, family offices VCs. But we're mainly looking now for strategic partners, for corporate venture funds. We believe that a strategic engagement like we have with ASICS is something that we want to promote. And I think that in Japan, technology is something that is in the front. In Israel, we have great innovation, so there is a great fit between technologies and developing technologies together here in Japan.
Brian, any questions?
One quick question on the revenue model, because you mentioned Intel Inside and you mentioned co-development. So I just wanted to understand if your revenue model is more around licensing or more around raw material supply to some of these partners that you have mentioned as well, or another model that I've not covered. Thanks.
So since this is a platform technology and we can apply to different types of sectors, we don't have one type of approach. I believe that it really depends on the sector. So for example, in the medical sector, there's a lot of approach towards milestones payments, royalties, and licensing. But on the other hand, on other sectors, like in cosmetics, it will probably be more a supply agreement. As long as the enabling technology is somehow implemented into the final cost, we can sell our material to our customers, or we can generate a licensing agreement.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. Thank you. Just listening to that, just like on a personal note, as a person who buys a lot of and uses a lot of sports-related equipment and sportswear, I'm like, yes, bring me more of that. Really awesome idea. Okay, so we're going to move on to our fifth and final company pitch for the first half of Hackosaka 2023. This one is Ikaros from Germany. They've developed a solution to achieve health and wellness while maintaining high motivation by combining fitness equipment with VR headsets, mobile devices, and sensors. They provide a gamified exercise and rehabilitation experience. Sounds really cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's now welcome Ms. Yu Haruta. Here you go.
Hello, my name is Yu Haruta from Ikaros. Today, I will introduce you how we transform patients into athletes. So we founded Ikaros in 2015 with the mission to create exercise system of 21st century. But we offer more than just exercise. It's rehabilitation. Because boring rehabilitation has a limited effect and takes a lot of time to recover. But we solve this problem by offering the most fun and effective rehab experience called Icarus Health. So how does it work? We combine two mega trends, health and connectivity, by comprising a balance and core therapy platform with gaming and technology. And it helps you to regain motivation, effectiveness, and repeatability in rehab. So who's using this device? The people who have a stroke or lower back pain, and we've shown a significant improvement in those patients recovering fast because training with Icarus Health System is very effective. It burns 30% more calories and stimulates more than double muscle activity. And let's take Walter as example, who had a stroke 8 years ago and his half body is paralyzed. Despite 8 years of rehabilitation, he saw limited improvement. But after training with Icarus, just only 3 months, he said Icarus changed his life. And here's his interview video on TV where he talks about it.
Eine Behinderung einfach nicht spüre oder nicht merke. Ja? Das ist natürlich einfach Freiheit, das ist einfach Leichtigkeit, die man einfach sich so sehr wünscht nach dem all dem Scheiß, den ich hinter mir habe. Ja? Und so mein neues Leben nach meinem Schlaganfall. Ja?
So his walking speed and physical activity improved a lot. But more surprisingly, he recovered from a stroke patient into one of the fastest athletes in our esports competition called Icarus. So he truly proved that patients turn into athletes. And his story highlights the potential of neurorehabilitation. When you look at the number of stroke patients, you'll be surprised. 1 in 4 people worldwide is suffering from stroke. And moreover, the population of the elderly has been dramatically increasing, especially in Japan, where it is the highest number in the world. So with the aging of the population, the number of stroke patients is expected to increase in the coming years. So that's where we come as game changer. But this is not just an idea. We've already installed it in some of the most well-known hospitals in Germany. And to make this device profitable, we are planning to recover revenue through a leasing model of our hardware and software. The most interesting part is the majority of sales come from software. For example, if patients use our health platform in a hospital, the software generates 80% of revenue, which is 4 times more than hardware revenue. So, and today we are here to look for partners to bring this new rehab technology to Japan. And so no more ineffective, depressing rehabilitation, but welcome to the future. Join us the most exciting and motivating rehab journey. We transform patients into athletes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if you're ready to move on to Q&A. Okay, any questions, gentlemen?
Thank you, Haruta-san. Who are your competitors in this space, and how do they compete with you?
Okay, thank you for your question. So our computers will be a VR-based rehabilitation or walking training equipment. But these tends to focus on a very specific area. But we provide a holistic approach. So That means, the combination of core training system and with VR game goes perfectly well because it enables users to move in 3 dimensions and in area where they are not able to. Yes. So from orthopedic patients to stroke patients, and as well as the elderly who want to improve their posture control or prevent from falls. Yes.
Okay, Jean Crown, any messages?
Okay, thank you for presentation. 2 quick questions from my side. One is that regarding to the business model, it is B2B or B2B2C or B2C?
So that one that I showed you is B2B. So the patients go to hospital and the hospital pay the subscription to us. Yeah.
Okay. You're targeting customers. Are you looking for any you mentioned the senior generation. Is it any other customers you are looking for?
Yes, actually, we already provide a home use as well. So, after the patient's recovery from illness or injury, and they back to home, and they can use our home use. So, like, complete solution we can provide.
Okay, last question. What kind of partners are you looking for in the Japan market?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so we are looking for partners who have a deep understanding and knowledge of rehabilitation, because we were a fitness company and trying to shifting to health company. So that's why we need those partners who have a deep knowledge in rehabilitation market. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings to a close our Q&A. Thank you very much. お疲れ様でした. Round of applause.